wanted to ask you to back up, and I came in late, so I apologize if this was asked and answered. Have you had any communication with any of the family members of the boys out at Dozier, and can you give us some kind of sense of what those conversations might have been like?
Yes, sir. And I said at the outset that I'm here in the Panhandle today for this on the hardest hit, and now to go over to Mariana, and you're welcome to come over there with us. The short answer to your question is yes. That's how we got involved in the first place. A fella named Glenn Varnado, who had a brother that died at the Mariana Boys School. Back then, it wasn't called the Dozier School. I remember it as a kid, going to see my family over in the Chipley, Washington County area. And I'd go that little back road, and I'd go past these immaculately landscaped grounds. And there was always, it was kind of known, you don't want to be sent to the boys' reform school. And so when Glenn Varnado contacted us, and his motivation is he wants to bring closure as to how his brother died. Well, once we got into this and started trying to assist Dr. Aaron Summerly, the principal professor at USF that is heading the investigation team, she was running out of money. She had already discovered that there were over 100 graves when, in fact, when FDLE had closed their investigation, they were only talking about nothing more than 50 graves. And she had done it with the ground-penetrating radar. So naturally, when I got in it to try to help her, and the word started getting around, then we started having more people contact us. And so when I met with Dr. Kennerly in Tampa about 2 months ago, lo and behold, one of the boys that had been at the school came. He's now close to 70 years old. He lives in Clearwater, and he described the White House. You've heard it referred to as the White House boys. This was a whitewashed house on the property. I don't know if it's still there. We're going to find out today, where they used to take to beat them. We then had another lady, a retired police officer from Lakeland, that contacted us, and I've subsequently met her, that her brother was taken under very suspicious circumstances and died as well. And this just all the more has added fuel to the fire. And what I said then was, where there's smoke, there's fire, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
And just as a quick follow-up, and I apologize because I've been following this issue as closely as others, is your office providing any funds to the investigation out there, the forensics?
The short answer is I've been trying to find funds. Now, fortunately, it's in addition to federal funds, and I'll tell you about that in a second, the state legislature, there are a couple of legislators up here that have put in a couple $100,000 directed to the University of South Florida to continue the examination. And the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has started the process under state law that would lead to the exhuming of bodies to see if crimes are committed. So what we did was write the Justice Department what is a source of funds to find out if crimes were committed. Remember, there's no statute of limitation on a crime of murder. And the Justice Department has just responded to us and said that there is a $3 million grant program for the use of DNA to try to determine if crimes have been committed, as well as identification.
You know what the name of that grant program is?
I'm going to hand out all that over in Marianna.
After all these years with Dozier, what do you get out of it by doing the investigation?
Well, first of all, you get to the truth. The second thing is you bring a lot of closure for families like Dr. Varnado that contacted us in the first place. And thirdly, if crimes were committed, we now have the technical and medical capability of determining if crimes were committed so that we could know what happened in a sordid past and make sure it never happens again.